everybody.
Hello.
My name is Shannon.
I'm Alyssa.
Welcome back to another episode of B-Movie Bash! Okay. I'm okay.
We're just getting in to...
Just right into it, because
Okay.
I don't... Do you have anything else you want to talk to them about before we deep dive? Because I don't.
No, I guess not.
Okay.
I guess last week was really funny with our whole Blood Moon episode that we put out.
Yeah, it came out on the blood moon.
And it came out on a blood moon.
It was
Like,
so
how crazy
cool.
is that? So,
I know,
like,
I saw that post and I was like...
the serendipity of that all. Like, it's like...
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess another thing would be to go check us out on TikTok, because we have a TikTok now.
We do.
So look up b.movie.bash.podcast.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dots.
That's a lot
but
of
that's
dots.
okay. We just post all of our like little shorts and stuff on there. So that is that.
A little bit more once in a while.
Yes.
So
Yes.
go check it out.
Okay, so we're just gonna get into this because Okay?
Did you like hate every second of this movie?
Kind of. Like, you remember how hard it was for you to get through The Occultist?
Oh, yes.
That's the level that we're at today.
No.
Okay? So, today we're going to be talking about 2015's Llamageddon.
What?
Llamageddon.
You're fucking with me right now.
I am not. This is a real movie, and I watched it all. And it's only an hour long, but it was the longest movie I've ever watched in my entire fucking life. Ugh. Okay.
Llamageddon.
Okay?
Okay.
I watched it on Amazon. It's free. Imagine that if you have Prime.
If they dared to charge you, I would
Right?
be upset. Like,
And it's also on Tubi because, of course, it has a 3.8.
oh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
But what's hilarious about that is so many of the user reviews on IMDb were 10 out of 10 because it's like so bad it's good, quote unquote.
I don't.
But apparently there was enough bad reviews that it brought it down to a 3.8.
Okay.
So, this is another movie kind of like Velocipaster where it was bad on purpose. So they
Okay.
were trying to be awful. And it worked.
Okay.
And I feel like I didn't have the right sense of humor to enjoy this movie.
Okay.
Because it was a little like crude. There was like fart jokes and stuff. You know, it was like that kind of thing. I tried to watch this like a
Okay.
month or two ago.
Oh, no.
And I could not get past minute 1.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I had to turn it off. And I went back to it for some reason. And then I was like, well, I'm committing
Yeah.
because it's too late to watch something else because I'm a slacker. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing today. So,
Okay.
the synopsis of this movie is a killer llama from outer space crash lands on Earth and brings death and destruction to everyone in its path.
Okay.
Okay?
From outer space.
From outer space.
Okay.
The movie starts out with an animated sequence, which was my favorite part of the whole movie.
Okay.
It looked like it was made in MS Paint,
Okay.
but like in a kind of cool way.
Okay.
And it had this like rock music in the background it reminded me of like the home screen page of Guitar Hero.
Okay.
So I was like, okay,
Okay.
interesting. All right. So basically we see this foreign planet and this army of llamas just marching around, looking real evil. I don't know if they were like gearing up for this llama apocalypse or what exactly was happening, but it just showed them like stomping around. And pretty much the very first scene is like their legs just like marching across the screen. And there's like stomping sounds and also farting sounds. And I was like, oh,
Oh.
okay.
This is the movie we're watching.
That's what we're doing here today. So, yeah.
That's the exact moment I felt when I was watching House Shark, and he like wipes the hair from his mouth, and I was like,
Yeah. Or the fact that he had hair all over his mouth.
yeah, that just like,
Pubic hair.
yeah,
All over his mouth.
I can still see it. It was awful.
Yeah, so that's kind of, that's what set the vibe. There was a little part that made me giggle, though. It showed a llama, like, up on the edge of a cliff, and there were a bunch of llamas, like, marching down at the bottom, like, be prepared for Lion King. And I was like, okay. You won me back a little bit with that one. Another thing we see is this, like, production line making their spaceships.
Okay.
And their spaceships are just little horse trailers with wings. Super cute.
Okay.
Yep. So that's happening. They're just making a bunch. And we also see this, like, little nest of llama eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah. They're furry.
Oh my.
And when they hatch, the little llama comes out and there's like green slime everywhere. So there's llama eggs. Okay. Space llama eggs. Okay.
And this is still animated?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you know when we go into real people.
Okay.
So, yes. So, little babies.
Just animated the whole thing.
I agree. I would have enjoyed it more, I think. Because at least then you know that it's being hokey, you know, and it's being stupid. Like, that fits perfectly in with, like, 2007 YouTube, you know?
Charlie.
Exactly. Like, that would have fit in just fine. Yeah. But, alas, here we are. So, finally, we see a llama get loaded up into his spacecraft, right? And he starts zooming through space, and this is all animated as well.
Okay.
And he kind of goes past Earth, and we see an astronaut that's like floating outside of the satellite and doing what astronauts do. And the llama shoots a laser at the satellite and blows it up.
Okay.
For reasons, apparently.
Okay.
And some of the debris cuts the wing of his spaceship, and so he hurtles toward Earth.
Good. Instant karma.
Right?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Good. Yeah, fuck you. Like.
Yes. So now we are in live action.
Okay.
And we see a very poorly done, like, fireball hurtling toward space, right? Toward Earth. And the horse trailer crashes.
Okay.
And the door kind of, like, swings open, and the llama gets out, and we see that it has glowing red eyes.
Well, I just have to say, though, I love that they have all of these, like, images of things, like, crashing into Earth that are the size of, like, a fucking car.
Yeah.
And that the only thing that happens is the surrounding trees catch fire.
Well,
there's a hole in the ground.
Literally nothing happened in this one.
Oh, it would decimate, like, a continent.
Crater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if something that size actually, like, I'm pretty sure... Like,
at the speed it's going, enough to burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I don't know the full maths about all of that, but like...
But pretty sure.
It would do a lot. It would do
more than that.
Yep.
Yeah. But this one just like skidded across the field. And it also gave me like giant spider invasion, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Okay.
So
with the crystals,
the rocks
and
the eggs.
Yeah, and the eggs.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You like the alien movies, huh? Have I watched an alien movie yet?
Get on it. Have you?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't like space movies a lot.
Okay, well.
So, but I'll for you.
It's okay, I can cover them.
Okay.
So, I like space.
I'll keep doing the werewolf westerns.
Okay.
Yeah. I like them.
If you can find more werewolf westerns,
I'm gonna look.
Please.
I'll see.
Please. Okay, so the horse trailer opens and this red-eyed llama gets out, right? And all of a sudden lightning and thunder is like crashing across the screen, and it was like very poorly done lightning. It was not good at all. Yeah. And Llamageddon comes across the screen, and the letters were like bright green and like jaggedy, and they had like a red shadow behind them, and then there was like, it was kind of like bloody, like splattery.
So MSN Word?
Yeah.
Just like
word art.
Yeah, word art. Yes.
Yes, pretty much. So next we see this middle-aged couple out gardening in their yard, and I want you to know that they are middle-aged. Okay? These people could not have been older than like maybe their early 50s, but I would say like late 40s. Okay? That's important.
Okay.
So they're out gardening in their yard, and the wife sees the llama in the next field over, and she points it out to the husband, and he's like, oh yeah, it must be one of the neighbors' llamas who got out again, whatever. And she's like, well, do you think we should like catch it? Should we call the neighbor? And he was like, it can wait until morning. The rain is coming in, and I don't want to deal with like chasing a llama around all night in the rain, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So they decide to go inside, and we see more lightning and thunder as it starts to rain. And it shows the couple getting ready for bed in their bedroom, taking off their shoes and socks and whatever. And we see the shadow of the llama like going through their house in the darkness, right?
How did it get inside? It just does. Okay, it's an alien llama. Okay.
Yeah, it's just inside now.
Okay.
Okay. And the wife...
don't think too much.
Please don't. You'll have too many questions. The wife is just kind of like, did you call the neighbors? And he's like, no, it's not my problem. And so they lay down and they get all settled in bed. And the llama sneaks into their bedroom and attacks them. And like we see blood splatter on their wedding picture. And that's how they die.
I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm gonna go
you
for the ride.
You can ask questions.
It doesn't have. Is it just stomping them to death with whatever? Like
we'll get into it. Yeah.
Oh no.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
There's a couple things that happen.
Okay.
Okay.
They're poor wedding photos.
Yep. So they die. the next scene, we see the horse trailer out in the field, and it's roped off, and there's like scientists and officials all around, right? And this part made me laugh because we see a helicopter come down and land in the field, and this official guy, whoever it is, comes out, and he is like, "Oh my gosh, would you look at that?" And then he talks about bagging everything up and sending it back to the lab, right? And I'm like, the whole horse trailer, or like what are you talking about?
Bag what up? Like,
but my favorite was that you could tell that everything he said was dubbed over because he was like 10 feet from this helicopter. So none of that audio would have been usable at all. Like, it would have been so freaking loud, but it was not a good voiceover either. Like, it was just, it was off.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know, I know it's bad on purpose, but I can't decide how much of it, like, how far did they go?
Yeah.
Right? Like, the acting reminded me of The Occultist. Like, it was that level of, like, this is a college assignment, and none of us are in drama. We're just here, right?
Okay.
But I don't know how much of that was planned versus, like, just go up there and do it.
Yeah.
You know? So, that's what we're
Because
working
I always
with.
wonder about that, because they always try to, like, say things like, oh, we're trying to be silly and hokey. And I'm like, but you have to do, like, a good job of trying to be silly and hokey. Like, you can't just... Yeah. Like, you have to give some effort into...
to make it look bad.
Trying to look good doing it badly. Like, it's just... You can't just, like... Okay, go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
nothing turns out right when you do it that way.
No.
And, like, I feel like Velocipaster was a really good example of that because I knew exactly what was going on, but I still enjoyed the ride. Yeah. Like, it was good. And this is, like, two steps below that.
Okay.
So, it's very much like college project in the worst way.
All right.
So next we see a cemetery, and we hear Amazing Grace being played on the bagpipes, okay? And there's a line of cars coming from the funeral, and we kind of focus in on one of them and go inside, where we meet the main characters, Floyd and Mel.
Okay.
And they are, like, early 20-somethings, I think. The mom kind of talks about college, so I think they're, like, early college student age. Floyd is, like, the typical, like, he has braces, he wears buttoned-up shirts that are tucked into his pants. Okay. Very nerdy.
Very nerdy guy.
Very virgin, right?
Okay.
Mel, she's just kind of, like, the older sister, bitchy, like, party girl, basically. Okay.
The two genders, yes.
Yes. Yes.
The nerdy virgin and the bitchy
and the
party girl.
Yes. That's all you need to know. Yes. And then their mom is in the front seat. Okay. And she looks about the same age as the couple who got killed. Okay. Like late 40s maybe, because her kids are in their 20s, right? So Floyd is like, oh man, I can't believe Dad didn't even show up to the funeral. And Mel is like, well, it wasn't his parents' funeral, so why would he come? They were his grandparents. These people were their grandparents who died.
Okay, but I can kind of understand that because Zach's the same age as his mom. Like, she's been 29 for, like, the last, like, 15 years. It's insane.
But
like,
it was very, like...
Yeah, that's bullshit.
They did not look like grandparents at all.
They couldn't have, like, tried to get two old people, like, ever, anytime.
They probably pitched him the story, and all the boomers were like, no. Fuck off with your nonsense, child.
All they had to do was say aunt and uncle or something. Like,
right?
And then,
And
then, aunt and uncle. Like, sad.
You would think so.
Yeah. But also, why would you not go to your wife's parents?
Apparently they've been divorced for a very long time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
But even still, like, I would totally, like, I'd be hanging out with Zach's parents.
I mean, if you'd been divorced for, like, 15 years...
No, I'd still probably be hanging out with them.
Well,
so,
maybe these guys don't have the same relationship.
Maybe.
I don't know. But, yeah, Mel is like, why would they even come?
They like me more than they like Zach.
That's true. I get that.
Yeah.
That sounded bad. That's not as far as
like,
in-laws
I
go.
understand why. It's okay, he doesn't listen to these.
Good. So. Sorry, Zach. The one he listens to watch. Anyway, so Floyd is like, I don't know, I just feel like he should have been here, you know? And he's like, what could he have been doing that he didn't show up to this? And this is the part that made me shut off the movie. Okay? So we...
Wait, this is still in the first minute?
Ish.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
first
I was
5 minutes,
exaggerating, but it was only the first couple minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we switch to the dad. Okay. And we get a very close up, like only face close up, and they do this a lot in the movie.
Okay.
And he is just like moaning and groaning and O-facing. And it was like, He was like, and I was like, that's not.
If that is how you are, sir, I see why your wife divorced you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So that's what the dad was doing. That's pretty much what we know.
Gross.
Yeah. And then the mom is, I don't know why, but she's like, okay, you guys will have to stay at your grandparents' house while we figure out the will and the situation with that.
And why are you not staying with them?
And why does anyone need to be in the house?
Yeah,
where they just got killed.
Are there not hotels here? I
don't even know if it's in a different town. They don't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it could be.
Sure, but like there's no hotels.
I don't know.
Like, listen,
I mean, it's a small farm town, but
my
still.
family is from St. John's, Arizona.
Yeah.
Where you could throw a rock and hit the other end of the town.
Yeah.
Okay. I can go down there and say, that's my cousin, that's my cousin, that's my cousin, that's my cousin, you know?
Yeah.
There are 3 hotels in that town. Okay. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. And yeah, mom didn't stay with them. So I don't really know what that situation is. But again, maybe we shouldn't ask questions and we should just go along with it.
Just go along with their same age grandparents being murdered in a house that you two now need to stay in, because obviously the killer's not going to turn to the scene of the crime or anything. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. So Floyd asks if the police have any like news about the killer. Mm-hmm. And the sister's like, it wasn't a killer, it was an animal that escaped from the zoo. And he was like, that makes no sense. How would an animal have gotten inside the house? Yeah. How could an animal have done that?
Yes, virgin nerd. Yes. Like
that's Floyd.
And who names your kid Floyd?
Right.
Like
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know.
You know what you did.
You're setting your kid up for failure right there.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing if you're like, oh, I'm 60 years old, my name is Floyd. You're like, oh, how cute. You know, oh, hi, I'm 15 years old, my name is Floyd. What?
Yeah.
Now.
There's a boy that goes to the same gymnastics as Adam. His name is Riot.
Oh, no.
I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah, your kid is gonna, like...
You're setting yourself up for a life of chaos.
Oh, yeah. No, that kid is gonna be stealing cars by the time he's 17. He's gonna be robbing...
17 is generous.
Yeah.
But yes, I understand.
No, he's gonna be shoplifting at, like, 15. He's gonna be stealing candy bars at 12. Like, he's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
Oh, yeah. Zach's neighbors had a kid named Journey, and they kept wondering why she got out of the house. And I was like, she's doing what you named her.
Journey.
Like, what do you mean?
She's a wanderer.
Like... Stop naming your kids stupid names.
Yes. Anyway, the mom is like, it was just a freak accident that happened to your grandparents and all this stuff. She's like, the house is safe. The police are going to be patrolling the area. Don't worry about it. So they get to the house and the mom starts like pulling all their things out of the trunk and she's just like shoving them at these children. Like she's just like, take your fucking bags. And she doesn't say that, but that is the sentiment there. And Floyd sees the llama out in the field. And he's like, oh, hey, when did they get a llama? Mm-hmm. And his mom was like, oh, they buy whatever the fuck they want. They do what they want. I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, yeah, if I have a field, I'm going to buy a llama. Like,
yeah. Give me the alpacas. Yeah. All of them.
Thank you.
Yeah. So they go in the house and the mom is basically telling Mel that she needs to take care of her brother and, you know, she needs to just make sure that he's okay because he's a fragile little boy, right? And Mel is like, he's an adult. Like, he can take care of himself. But okay, whatever, Mom.
You keep telling your kids you're a fragile little kid, like, they're going to stay fragile. Like,
for the rest of their
forever.
Life.
Yeah.
But that's an important theme that comes in later.
Okay.
So he is a fragile little boy.
Okay.
And the mom is like, and remember, if he wets the bed, don't make a big deal out of it. Okay. And it does another close-up of Floyd's face. And he's like, Mom, you're not supposed to say anything. Mom. And then it like closes up of the mom and she's like, I'm so sorry, honey. I just want to take care of you. Like it was the worst.
As the sister, I would feel no shame murdering my family. Like that's
Llama.
Yeah, llama. Get him, Llama.
Yeah, it was like that's when I was like, oh, we're leaning real hard into just camp. So the mom leaves, and the sister immediately pulls out her phone because she's a partier, and she starts calling up friends to invite them to this party, right? And she's like, we have a house to ourselves. We're going to have a party. It's going to be so great.
In my dead grandparents' house.
Yeah, where they literally just died and were murdered.
Which, the other question to me is, like, how long has this been? Because murder investigations don't wrap up that quickly.
No.
Like,
and, like, funerals take a couple days at least to plan. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's got to be at least a week. Yeah. Right?
And that's not long enough for police to be like, yeah, you can totally go back in that house now. Like,
I don't think so.
No. I mean, I guess unless they thought it was like an animal that had escaped and it was like actually an animal that had like, but
I don't know.
Okay.
So
don't think of the plot hole.
No, don't. It'll take too much time. So Floyd is like, we can't have people over. Mom said we can't have people over. And Mel's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what are you talking about? So this whole scene was completely voiced over as well. I don't know if it was a windy day outside or what, but just wanted to point that out. So Floyd is like, hey, if anything crazy happens, though, I'm going to make everybody leave. Like, this is a bad idea. And she just kind of rolls her eyes and she starts walking back to the house and she's like, I'm going to go call Mark. And then there's like a beat of silence and Floyd goes, who the fuck is Mark? And then it just cuts. I was like...
Which is real, like, that's hilarious to me because I was listening to a book earlier and they were like, oh yeah, and this guy's boyfriend, Mark. And I was like, who the fuck is Mark? Like, straight up, I was like, he wasn't in the first book. He's just suddenly like, oh yeah, this guy's boyfriend. And I'm like... Like, they've been, like, dating for a few... I mean, I guess not that his sexuality mattered in the first book. It was, like, a lot of other things were going on that it didn't matter. But I was like, you couldn't have even mentioned in the, like...
spring that on me?
Like, there was, like, 80-plus chapters in that book, and you couldn't at any time in the, like, 15 of the chapters that they were at their house and they were talking about things, they couldn't have, like, add Mark just like, hey, babe, you need anything? Like, nah. Like, no. I'm literally just like, what? Like, who? Anyway, sorry.
Well, you're good.
That's funny to me. A lot of coincidences
I know.
lately. So, like, yeah.
That's kind of funny. So we see Mel go inside. She, like, sits on the couch and she's calling all of her friends. And it's just kind of a montage of, like, hey, Stacy. Oh, hey, Dan. Sebastian, how you doing? You know? But then it turns into, like, hola, Miguel, ¿cómo estás? And, like, the other names were, like, Zeus, Spock. And then, like, one of the calls, she's like, hey, Rob, where's my fucking money? I was like, what is happening? And then there's another one that I noted where she was like, hey, Amanda, you have to come to my party. Who cares if your dad died? Just get over here. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Party time. So during this, Floyd is walking around the outside of the house and it has, like, there's a big fields and a barn and, like, it's definitely, like, a little farm. And we keep getting glimpses of the llama, like, walking around as well.
Stalking after him, yeah.
And as he walks around the house, he stops and looks at this, like, giant piece of farming equipment with, like, spikies on it. And I was like, well, someone's fucking dying on that.
Yeah.
But thank you for pointing that out. And then the scene goes back to the field where the spacecraft is, right? Okay. And there are more officials standing around taking notes on stuff. And one of them is like, okay, doctor, what are your thoughts on this? The other one's like, well, I think I'm too old for this shit. I was like, I feel that.
Yeah.
On a personal level. But
this
okay.
movie, yeah. Like it's...
Yes. Yes. But they talk about how the spacecraft seems to have come from the Orion Nebula based on how it entered the atmosphere, and that does not matter at all.
Okay.
And how they have never seen technology so advanced as this. Okay.
So they're not batting an eye at all that this is alien tech. Like, they're just like, we got an alien running around somewhere.
And
like,
yeah, they're just like, wow, this technology. No, we'll never understand it. It's so cool. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, not like, oh, look at these hoof prints that came directly out of the horse trailer. Maybe we should follow them.
Yeah, like this weird, awkward horse trailer.
Yeah, with wings.
Like,
yeah.
There's a llama right over there. Nah. Like,
maybe he wandered far enough away.
Maybe.
I have no idea. So the second doctor is like, I have another thing that I want to show you. I'm very excited. And he picks up one of the furry llama eggs.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Why, as a llama, would you take them with you? That's your children. Like,
maybe it had it on the plane, on the flight.
I mean, I guess normal chickens would also be probably laying eggs on whatever flight they were on as well. So, like, there's...
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
But there is an egg.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just like, it looks like they took chunks of, like, craft fur and just, like, patchworked it onto the outside of a Hatchimal's egg. Like, it was, like, huge. So they decided to take it back to the lab and study it, as you do.
As you would, yes.
And then a black screen comes across and it says, time lapse. Okay.
That's hokey. That's funny.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes. It's kind of like China.
Yeah.
So there were some things that got me. Like, some of it was funny.
Is this done by the same people that did
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll have to check, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next scene is the party at the house, and it just shows everybody getting drunk and high, and they're playing like Never Have I Ever, and there's like a couple couples playing beer pong, and Floyd is being his nerdy self, and he's basically like, everybody, can we use coasters? Because we have to sell this house, so please don't mess up anything. I'm like, are you selling the furniture?
Yeah. What are we selling in here? Yeah.
Okay.
Are we just doing a big old estate sale? Because, like...
I mean, hey, sign me up.
Yeah.
I love an estate sale. But anyway, there's just like a bunch of like random conversations that we kind of snip into. Mm-hmm. And the only one that I bothered to write down was, I can't believe Pluto isn't a planet anymore. And I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
The random conversations that people have, like...
Yeah. And then there's this guy called Dan. He's kind of one of the like bigger people in this movie. We've seen him kind of around as the montage was happening, and his shirt has already changed 3 times. That is a running gag in this movie. Like, some of the reviews were like, I was gonna leave as many stars as Dan had shirt changes, but it only lets me leave 10 stars. Or like, we took shots every time he changed shirts, and now we are dead. So it was pretty funny. I didn't notice at first, and then I saw the reviews and I was like, and I was only like partway through the movie, and then I kept watching and I was like, oh yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, Dan comes up to Mel and he's like, we need to talk. And it shows Floyd, who is sitting around a table with a bunch of party goers, and they're all playing a drinking game where you like pick a card and the card tells you whatever to do, right? Like chug your whole beer or do whatever. And then there's an unopened beer on the table, and you have to tuck the card underneath the tab, and whoever breaks the seal with their card has to drink the whole thing.
Okay. That actually kind of sounds fun.
I know, right? I was like, that's kind of cool.
That's creative.
For someone who doesn't play drinking
right?
games. But hey, I don't like beer.
Right, me
We could do like little strawberry margarita cans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't like for us 30-year-olds that don't drink no more. Like,
yes. Just do something fruity and we'll be good. But anyway, he is like trying to tuck his cards in there, but he's like having a hard time and sweating, and he's like wiping his brow, and apparently it's this big fucking deal because he's a nerd, right? And
I have to see what he looks like.
Okay. He is uglier in the movie than he is on IMDb.
Like
they purposefully nerd him up.
Okay.
But he's still kind of cute. Like, he has really pretty eyes. Like, he reminds me of the friend in Easy A, the gay friend.
Oh, okay.
Kinda.
What? Oh, okay. He's cute. He's cute. Okay.
Yeah.
They just make him look dorky. Okay.
Yeah.
He's cute, though. He's cute.
Yeah.
So he wrote Llamageddon.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Is a writer and producer known for Llamageddon.
Wow. That's amazing, actually. That makes me like it a little bit more. That's funny. I guess, you know, a lot of people, when they direct their own stuff, they're like, I'm going to be in my stuff, too. Does that make sense?
Free acting right there,
yeah. So anyway, it flashes back to Dan and Mel, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with your brother? Like, he is so weird. He's a train wreck. And she was like, well, how's Project Getting Him Laid? Like, how's that going? Are you finding a girl? And she's like, I don't want anyone too slutty, though, because if he gets an STD, he's just going to be turned off by all the fun, you know, and he's never going to do it again, kind of a thing. And he was like, well, I found Sam. She's kind of a slut, but she's also a cherry picker. And she was like, a cherry picker? And he was like, yeah, she likes virgins.
She likes 2 seconds of awkward crying sex. Like, that's a weird chick.
He says she likes virgins, and she likes to stick around until both of their instruments are in tune. Okay? And then, for a full minute, a jazzy saxophone solo plays over the top. And it's just like, but like with free music, right? And they just sit there like dancing. just grooving. And like whipping their hair and just dancing in the kitchen to this music for a full minute.
Okay. That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. While they're dancing, it occasionally flips over to Floyd, who is just so stressed out and like twitching and freaking out. And the other kids are just looking at him like he's crazy, because obviously. And then the music stops, and Mel and Dan just stop dancing, and she's like, all right, make it happen.
Okay.
Get them hooked up.
Okay. All right.
So Floyd walks into the room where the kids are getting high, and he's like, hey, guys, what's that smell? And they like have a water bong that's like made up of an empty 2-liter bottle with like some tin foil, and they're like trying to cover it up. And they're like, nothing, man. There's nothing going on. And he's like, it smells like skunks or like Dad's lady friends. I was like, oh no. But yeah, they're basically just hiding it. And Dan comes in and he asks Floyd to make Sam a drink because she doesn't drink beer. So she needs a special fancy drink, right? And one of the high guys, whose name is Cody, we find out later, wanders outside to pee. He's like, I gotta piss. Goodbye.
Okay.
So Mel is like, has anybody seen Sarah? And decides to text her. She hasn't shown up to the party yet.
Okay.
And she texts her, getting some, S-U-M, getting some D or what? I was like, no one talks like this.
No
Who
one
texts
talks like
this?
Yeah. No one.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, Sarah is driving. She's coming to the party, and she's like, I'm 5 minutes out, and the only D I'm getting is yours. And they just kind of like have a little exchange back and forth. And it was kind of stupid funny. So they had like the text bubbles come up on the screen, right? And Mel the whole time was like typing away at her phone, not looking at her phone because she was reading the text bubbles on the screen. She's like, ha, my friend is so funny.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
I know. I was like, all right. So she's driving, right? And she's like, 5 minutes out, I'll be there soon. And as she's talking, or as she's texting, she has to brake suddenly because the llama is in the road, right? And so she's like waiting for it, and she like honks at it a few times, and he doesn't move. And all of a sudden, he shoots lasers out of his eyes, and her car lights on fire. Fiery blaze, right? She's inside. She's screaming. There's flames everywhere. And all of a sudden, Mel gets a text that says, ah! But she doesn't see that because a ping pong ball gets thrown at her just then. So she doesn't know that her friend is screaming through text.
Maybe it was like talk to text or something. Ah!
Maybe.
Some of this is funny.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah, some of it was. And then other parts I was like, why? Why are we doing this?
Furry llama eggs is weird.
Yeah. Oh, just wait.
Okay.
Oh,
no.
Just wait. The last like 10, 15 minutes are my favorite.
Okay.
So I'm excited to tell you about that.
Okay, I'm excited.
So
normally that's like the worst part of the movies for me.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
Like, oh, the beginning was so good. And then
just think that this is still only like 7 minutes into the movie.
Are you kidding? We've been recording for 35.
This is going to take... I have 8 pages of notes on this hour-long movie.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Let's get through this.
Yeah. So Floyd walks in, and there is a couple who... it was one of the couples that was playing beer pong. And one of the house rules was, like, he missed, so he had to drop his drawers. And then the girl from the other couple had to take her pants off, too. And the guy was like, haha, this isn't the first time we've both been pantsless. And so the boyfriend is like, fucking excuse me?
Yeah.
What does that mean? And so they're, like, fighting in the kitchen. And it was a really random scene where Floyd just walks in, and he's like, what do you want? The fuck do you want? Keep walking. I was like, okay. Calm down.
Just trying to fill some runtime, I guess.
Yeah. So Floyd goes through to the main part of the kitchen, and Mel is in there, and he's like, when can we tell everybody to leave? Like, this is crazy. And she was like, no, relax. Like, everyone's drinking. We can't tell them they have to drive home, you know? And he was like, was that your plan all along? And she's like, I saw you talking out there with Sam. Don't even pretend. And he's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be making her a drink. And she gets all excited, and she starts mixing up a drink in a red Solo cup, right? But it was like some kind of dark liquor, like whiskey or rum or something.
Okay.
And then also beer, and then also vodka, and then also Coca-Cola.
Okay, gross.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. I was like, she's going to die.
Yeah. I would throw up.
Yeah.
That sounds awful. One sip and I'd be like, bleh.
So she like shoves it in his hand, and she's like, take it out there and make sure you smile. Be a good little boy.
And then have her throw up on you.
Yeah. So next we see Cody outside, going to go pee. And he's like stumbling around the outside of the house, and he walks up to the edge of the fence, and he starts to pee on it. And he's not really paying attention. He's high, whatever.
Because there's not bathrooms in houses.
He was right next to the front door.
Okay.
So might as well.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Because then the llama is in the field, right? And it looked like the llama spit in his face, but then there was nothing on his face. So I don't know what I missed there.
Okay.
But either way, he gets scared. He runs back inside.
Okay.
It cuts back to the couple who's fighting, and Mel is like, take it outside. Like, you guys are being way too loud. Just do whatever you need to do. And Cody runs inside, and he slams the door behind him, and he's like, there's something wrong with that fucking llama, man. And he's just like... He's talking about how it has red eyes and it's like possessed and all this stuff. And they're like, okay, buddy, you need to calm
Extra
down.
high, Cody.
Exactly. And he's like panicking, right?
Uh-huh.
We see the boyfriend go outside and he is starting to smoke. And then it flips back inside to Floyd, who brings the drink out to Sam. And he's like, yeah, can I play that drinking game with you guys? That seems pretty cool. And I was like, that's what you were just doing.
Yeah.
But okay. And he like asks them how to play.
What?
I was like, what?
You were just playing, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It was dumb. And then, Dan is also in his 4th shirt of the movie at this point.
Okay.
So Dan pulls a card, and he's like, what does this one mean? And Dan is like, it's the waterfall card. Everyone has to chug their beers. And so Floyd is chugging his beer, and he's having a hard time because beer is fucking disgusting. Right? But what made me laugh is he was trying to chug it all in one go, and there was like this artificial like glug, 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 glug sound over the top. All the while, it flips back to Cody, who is with the other high people. Mm-hmm. And he just keeps talking about this llama, and they're like, okay, you're super high, whatever, we get it. And one of the other guys, who basically looks like a modern day Shaggy, and I wrote this as I was going, okay? I watched it and took notes at the same time. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Looks like a modern day Shaggy. He's like, man, Cody, you look really tense. I'm going to pack you a bowl. And then he turns to the camera and just stares for 5 seconds. And then he goes back to doing what he was doing. I was like, why?
Why
what did we, okay.
Were we supposed to get a wink wink from something? Because I didn't understand that.
Right? And then, he's like, this will make you see dancing llamas. It's way better than your red-eyed llamas. Ha ha ha. And I was like, what was that for?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
So, the boyfriend outside. What?
Dancing llamas?
I don't know.
That funny, but okay. Yeah. I mean, you're high, so whatever.
Right. So, the boyfriend outside comes across the llama, right? And he goes, whoa, I've never seen a wildebeest before. And he offers him a hit off of his joint. Okay? And the llama bites off 2 of his fingers.
Good.
So he's
I would too.
Screaming.
Yes.
Right? The girlfriend comes outside and is like calling for him and looking for him. And she sees him yelling and screaming. And he turns toward her. And all of a sudden, the llama from behind kicks his foot through the guy's chest. And his heart flies into the hands of the girlfriend and is still beating. And she screams. Obviously. Yeah. And then the boyfriend gets like knocked to the ground and pulled away, and he's like, ah! And then the girl gets knocked to the ground.
Instantly die from that? Like,
yeah.
Is that, like...
You wouldn't be making noises.
No.
Pretty sure.
Maybe for like a good 30 seconds or something,
Maybe.
but people have died instantly from having shit done to their chest or to their heart.
Dead.
Not just kicked from their chest.
Yeah.
Like, because that's going through lungs, that's going through bones, that's going through like
everything.
And
your heart is gone.
Yeah, and your heart is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the girlfriend gets knocked to the ground, right? And the llama comes up to her and is either just smacking her around or stepping on her. I couldn't tell which because they were just like straight prop llama legs going until she was like bloody, and then he stepped on her face and broke her neck, and then she died.
Okay. All right. Girlfriend dead. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So back inside, Floyd and Dan and the others are still playing their drinking game.
Okay.
And Dan is now wearing a white shirt that says bride on it. I thought that one was super cute.
That's cute.
Yeah. And Floyd loses this round, and so he tucks his card underneath the tab, right? And this is the card that breaks the seal.
Oh, okay.
So he has to chug. And he, like, spits it out all over the table. Okay. And they're like, what the hell, man? Like, that's
Party
disgusting. Yeah. And everyone gets annoyed. And Floyd is like, well, maybe we shouldn't play games anymore. Maybe we should go in the hot tub. And they're like, you fucking have a hot tub? And you're just telling us this? Okay. So Dan is like, all right, I'm going to round up everybody. I'm going to go tell them about the hot tub. And so we see him go around, and he's wearing another shirt. And he tells everybody that there's going to be a hot tub party. Outside, we see the body of the girlfriend being dragged away as another car pulls up.
Okay. So the llama's also smart enough to hide the bodies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's a very intelligent creature.
What did he do with Sarah's car? Okay.
Don't know.
Okay.
No closure there. No closure.
No more questions. Yeah.
So this guy gets out, and he's like drinking a beer as he gets out of the car.
Okay.
Very, very responsible.
Yes.
And he's walking up to the house, and he steps on the boyfriend's heart and like slips on it a little bit, and it's like whoop.
Yep.
Makes a little whoop sound. And he keeps walking and goes into the house. And he runs into Shaggy, whom he calls Shaggy.
Okay.
I was like, Okay.
Of course. Yep. Okay.
And he's like, man, where's the beer? And Shaggy's
Wait,
like,
green shirt Shaggy or red shirt Shaggy?
green shirt.
Okay.
Because red shirt is dumb.
Yeah, they're like the off-brand Shaggies.
Yeah.
Those had to be the ones with Scrappy-Doo, so.
We don't associate with those.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shaggy's like, I just have my bong. Ha ha ha. And the new guy walks in and he takes a hit off of the bong and he walks off and he's like, I'm going to go get laid. And the new guy. No.
Oh,
Mark never shows up.
Okay, who the fuck is Mark?
I don't know. So we find out that his name is Trent and he is Mel's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
So he walks into the kitchen and he finds her. Right?
Okay.
All of a sudden.
He's the cool guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's part of the cool
guy
kids
Trent.
club. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We are back at the beer pong table.
Okay.
Where at this scene, this was another one that was just like an immediate turn off for me. Okay. So it's a very close up scene of a guy with his beer.
Okay.
And he's just like like tonguing it and like making out with his beer can. And I was like, why though?
Why?
Why?
I hope he cut his tongue on that.
Right?
So like, yeah.
I did not like it at all.
No, thank you, Sam. I am.
But yeah, it was a nasty sound.
Okay.
I am not a big fan of mouth sounds, and that was just next level. But anyway, the girl at the table is like, are you enjoying that beer? Because I'm enjoying watching you drink that beer. Yes. I'm like, that's the exact opposite reaction that I had. But
oh no, I would dry up
to
so
each
fucking
their...
fast. Sorry. I've been listening to too many smut books lately.
We can't put that as the promo, right?
Sorry.
Anyway, we then see Dan, who goes into the kitchen in a new tank top, and he gets introduced to Trent. This was another fucking weird part. I don't understand. So they go to shake hands, and there's like a sound effect of them like squeeze. It was like leather creaking.
I hate when they do that because they do that all the time where they're just like, yeah. Or they'll squeeze their hand. Anime does that all the time.
It was
so
like that.
Okay.
So they just like held it there and were squeezing it for a long time, right?
Okay.
And then it did close-ups of everybody's mouths as like Dan was like, you got a pretty nice grip there, buddy. And then Trent was like, yeah, so is yours. And then there was like another close-up of someone else in the kitchen who just sniffs. And then another one where they just like lick their lips. And I was like,
maybe it was trying to make fun of a different movie?
I guess, but I don't know which one.
But I think it's really... No, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Go ahead.
And then Mel's close-up mouth is like, measure your dicks.
Okay, well...
some other time.
She said it, so I'm going to say it. If you're commenting on another guy's grip strength...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And then the last close-up shot person is this girl named Stacy. And she just goes, hot tub. I was like,
what?
I don't know. So Dan and Stacy decide to go out to the hot tub, and then Trent whispers something to Mel. I'm sure we can assume what he whispers.
Yeah.
So everyone who was playing the drinking game disperses because vomit. And luckily it was just like he spit beer out of his mouth. Because I can't handle realistic. Don't show me that.
Yeah, no. I hate when they do that in like movies and TV shows. I'm like, you can have them going off the side, leaning over. I fully understand what's happening. Don't show me it because I will throw up too.
Yes.
Like I'm a sympathy vomiter.
Yes.
Like unless the person in front of me is deathly ill and I know this is the person I need to take care of.
If it's my child,
I can handle it.
Otherwise,
no. Like stop putting it in movies, stop putting it in TV shows. You're not being shocking, you're just being gross.
Yeah.
Like
I hate it.
Stop.
So luckily it was just beer. So everyone kind of leaves, but Sam grabs Floyd's hand, right? And she knows what's going on. And so she pulls him out of the room. And then Cody goes to use the bathroom, but Trent and Mel cut past him, right?
Didn't Cody already pee?
Oh, yeah. Maybe he didn't get it all out.
Okay.
I think it was Cody. Could have been someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he did get spit in the face, so like maybe he was like, I'm not going back out there. I'm going to pee in the inside.
Right.
So.
But they cut past him, and they go in, and they're like, sorry, it's going to be a while. And Cody's like, yeah, I doubt that, dick. And I was like, that's
good job,
funny.
Cody.
That's funny.
But also, like, how many rooms are in this house? Why would you do that in the bathroom?
Quite a few.
I guess. Okay.
So Sam takes Floyd into a bedroom and starts like unbuttoning his shirt and like rips it open. I was like, all right.
Okay.
And he's like, I've never done this before. I don't know what to do. And she's like,
little bird.
don't worry about it. Yeah. And she like throws him on the bed and gets on top of him. Okay. And then it goes to Mel and Trent, who are making out in the bathroom. And he like pulls out handcuffs and I'm like, in the bathroom?
Yeah. What are you going to tie her to? The shower curtain rod that's going to come down? Like what?
The faucet?
Like,
I don't know. The pipes under the toilet.
There you go.
It's very sexy. Yeah. But anyway, they're making out and they're like doing like the like very exaggerated, you know, licking and kissing each other and like licking each other's tongues and
it's time for brown chicken brown cow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of that. And at one point he like pushes her up against the sink and we are looking at them at an angle, but we can see like the shower reflected in the mirror. And up behind them is just a man's face, like smiling and watching them, and it's not camera crew because we are the camera's perspective. And so I think they just added a face in there, but like
weird.
This person had to have been standing on the edge of the tub because his head was like by the ceiling, and he was just like just smiling like a fucking creep watching them.
Like that's the scariest part of the movie to me. That's what I would have been like, ah!
Yeah. But they don't see.
Okay.
There's lots of close-ups of people's mouths and tongues and licking and flicking and what. And, oh yeah, there's a scene of Trent and Mel where they come to the middle of the scene and they're just licking each other's tongues. And we can see the cameraman, like, in between them filming with the mirror behind him. It was pretty funny. And then Cody walks into the bedroom where Floyd and Sam are. And Floyd is down in like doggy style with his pants on.
Okay.
And she is behind him in the man's position.
Okay.
Clothed. But like also like waving around his shirt. Okay. Like rodeo style, you know, like lasso style.
It seems very weird for a first time.
It is very weird for any time.
Oh yeah, any time. But like especially this dude's first time. Like,
I know, right?
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's. But he walks in and they're like, hey, get out of here. And so he closes the door and then he opens it again and she throws underwear at him and he's like, okay, never mind. Okay. And then Mel and Trent are starting to get a little more undressed and a little more spicy, right? And his phone, which is on the counter, buzzes. And she looks over at it and he has gotten a picture of a boob. Just one boob.
Just the one boob.
Just one. Yeah, that's all you need. And she gets mad and she storms off, right?
As you should.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, I've seen you get dick pics and blah, blah, blah. It was only one boob. Maybe it's your boob. And she's like, why would someone send you a picture of my boob? No. So we see Sam and Floyd, who are now laying in bed. And she's like stroking his hair and, you know, being all soft with him now.
Being soft? Okay.
And she's like, you did so good. You did so good. I was like, what does that mean? Oh, I don't like it. So Sam, she's like, you did so good. And he sits up and Floyd is like, yeah, I did. I'm a man now. So his voice drops. It's not high and squeaky anymore. And he like stares right into the camera when he says that. And he like almost breaks into a smirk. He's like, and that was pretty funny. Like the times that people almost broke was the best part of the whole movie. Meanwhile, Trent is in the bathroom and he is pissed off because Mel just walked away, right? And he chucks his shirt across the room and it falls into the toilet and he's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So he goes into the laundry room and just finds a random shirt. And I don't know
one of
why
Dan's.
that was important. I said, could have just asked Dan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, man, I was just about to change my shirt anyway.
Right. So now we go out to the hot tub where everyone is drinking and smoking, and one guy has a full rubber horse head mask.
Back when that was funny.
Yeah. In 2015.
Right.
And he like takes a hit out of the mouth of the horse and smoke comes out.
Are they going to just start doing the Harlem Shake or something now? Like this?
Oh, yeah. That would be... Actually, keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay. So... Anyway, we see the llama make his way into the garage, which is where the hot tub is, I think. It was a weird setup.
I forget the llama's in this movie.
The llama! Because there's so much fucking weird shit going on. Yeah, so he gets in, and no one seems to notice as he moseys up to the hot tub, right? But he kicks the radio. And so he's trying to get it into the water, right? And Shaggy catches it, and he's like, hell yeah, man, I got it. And the llama just goes, whack! And like karate chops it into the water. And everybody gets shocked with this like very fake blue electricity, right?
And they're just all
doing the Harlem Shake. Yes. For a minute and a half.
Seriously?
A minute and a half.
Was there music playing too?
No,
or just, no,
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, minute and a half. So
did it keep like zooming in on different people?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But
still.
Yeah. That's too long.
Yeah.
We get it. They're electrocuted. They're dead. Okay.
That's not enough. It's not enough. So we see Cody walk over to the hot tub area, and he sees like there's like a window in the door, and he sees the llama, and he's like, shit. And so he runs away. And then Stacy from the kitchen, like the girl, and another random party goer are like, let's go out to the hot tub. And they see everybody being electrocuted. They don't care. They go up and they like dip a toe in, and then they also get electrocuted. And this was another part, like one of the girls drops to the ground and Stacy has to like stop herself from laughing because of all of this ridiculousness. So they get electrocuted. We see the outlet starting to like spark and, you know, flame up and smoke and whatever. And Dan walks out with an armful of beer and he sees everybody's dead. And so he like drops them and runs inside. And he walks into the kitchen where Trent and Mel are just yelling at each other. And he just takes a shot of liquor out of Mel's hand and he drinks it all. And they're like, the fuck is your problem, dude? And he's like, they're dead. They're all dead. Everyone in the hot tub is dead. Everyone's dead in the hot tub. And he says that like multiple times. So like, what are you talking about? And they're like arguing as they go check on it. And he's like, everyone in the hot tub is dead. They're all dead. And then they walk back in and she's like, everyone in the hot tub is dead. And he's like, I know. So, yeah, Floyd hears all of this and he comes into the kitchen and he's like, we have to call 911. And they're all like, we don't have service. And he's like, okay, let's go try outside.
Okay.
And they still don't have any signal. And one of my favorite parts was Trent was trying to get signal. And she's like, do you have anything? And he's like, no. And my parents don't make 6 figures a year so that I can have 2 out of 6 bars. What the fuck? I was like, okay. That's fair. It was just funny. But anyway, Floyd is trying to talk everyone down. And he's like, they can't be dead. Maybe they're just passed out. Like, they were all drinking. Like, they can't be dead. And they were like, no. Like, everyone is fucking dead. I promise. And as they're arguing, the llama walks around. And he goes up to one of the beer pong couples.
Okay.
And the girlfriend takes off running. And the llama lasers her through the chest.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that he's, like, reusing some of his, like, you know. Because you know how they do that sometimes in some movies where they do something once and they never do it again?
Yeah.
Like that.
He uses his laser eyes a lot.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So he lasers her in the chest and blood just splatters all over everybody. Okay. It was not good at all. And the boyfriend runs away and the same thing happens to him. Back on the porch, Trent starts vomiting because gross, right? And it shows him like bent over and you can tell that something is just like fire hosing next to him and he's like for a very long time. And he stands up and the llama spits this green acid all over him, which is why I was confused about the spit before. But anyway.
Maybe he can just decide.
I guess.
Like, go. Can't just like...
Go. So he got spit on. Floyd, Mel, Sam, and Dan all go inside. And Mel is like, didn't our grandparents have a landline? And so they go over to the phone. And Floyd calls and he's like, there's llamas that are killing people, and then they hung up on him because fucking no. Right? Outside, Trent's eyes go red and he starts freaking out and his arms are suddenly covered in fur.
What?
Okay. And it just looked like they took up like a 6x6 piece of fur and like put it on his arm. Like it was like hanging off. It was very obviously poorly done, but on purpose, I guess. And then we also see his shirt like split open in the back, and his like furry
in the
back
werewolfy
comes out.
Kind of
Exactly. But yeah, the police don't believe Floyd. And Mel is like, let's call Dad. We need to call somebody. Let's call Dad, right? And she calls him, but he can't understand what she's saying. There's just too much going on, right? And she's like, I think the line is dead. And shows the dad who was laying in bed with this much younger woman. And he was like, I need to go. My kids need me. And so he gets up and leaves. Trent crawls through the front door of the house, and everyone sees him start to transform, right? Okay. And he's like, what is happening to me? And so they all run out of the house. And then there's this other girl who's in a different room who, like, earlier was like, I'm so sleepy. I'm going to pass out because I'm drunk, right? And she wakes up and she starts yelling for everybody. And she goes out the front door and she's looking for everybody. And she's met with the llama who attacks her. And we just see blood splatter on the front door. It's like...
But why is he, like... Why did he turn Trent and not anybody else?
We shall see.
Okay.
So the group is running through the trees, okay, with Trent hobbling and bleeding behind them. Because that's the sound that llamas make. Yeah. He was like, meh, meh. No. I don't know what they say, but that's not what they say.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
I don't think so. The llama is following them and shoots a few lasers, but he misses them. Right? Okay. And every time he shoots, when a laser hits the ground, there's like a firework kind of effect. And I honestly could not tell if it was real or not. Because if it was fake, it looked real good. But if it was real, that's really irresponsible to be firing off fireworks in the trees. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. So it looked pretty real, though. Yeah. So as they're running, Sam trips, and Floyd goes to help her up. But she's obviously, like, not trying to get up. She's just like, oh, no. And she gets lasered, and blood just splatters all over his face. Okay? They run a little bit further, and Dan is like, we can't keep going with Trent. Like, he could be the reason the llama is following us. Maybe he wants Trent. And so they decide to go on without them. And Trent is just like on the ground. He's like, I'm a fucking llama. And the whole time I was just thinking of Emperor's New Groove.
Llama again.
Llama face. Yeah, like that's what I thought of. But he starts kind of running and hobbling after them again. And all of a sudden we're back in animated world. Okay. And we see Trent grow these like llama ears, right? And the llama walks up to him. And he's like, is it a horse? Is it an emu? And I was like, first of all, an emu is a bird.
Right. Why is everyone getting this fucking animal wrong? It's
wildebeest.
A llama. Like,
I could see alpaca.
Yeah.
I could get that.
An
emu?
I could get people being like, is this a weird horse? Maybe.
Donkey?
Like, if you've never seen a llama before.
Who hasn't seen a llama before?
Why would you think it was a wildebeest?
No, you wouldn't.
You would never.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So... the llama...
time lapse is fun. Wildebeest is not.
No. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Are you buckled in?
I don't know.
The llama rears up. Okay. And from its stomachal region, there's like a little... there's an opening, and something pink starts to come out. What? And I was like, what is happening? Something real rapey is about to happen.
Yeah, this is about to become a different movie.
Yes. So I was like, something's going to get real fucked up real quick. But from his stomach comes these tentacles that spring out and grab Trent, right? And suck him backwards. And this is all in the animation. Okay. Back to live action world. The rest of the group run into an open field and they see the horse trailer.
I appreciate though that they thought, you know what, we don't have the budget or the talent to do a CGI tentacles coming out of a fake llama.
We'll just draw that.
We're just gonna draw it, and I can appreciate that.
Yes.
Like
yes, they stuck with what they knew.
Yes,
and that's what's important.
Okay.
So they come across the horse trailer, which is no longer roped off. So I guess they got what they wanted.
They didn't bag it up?
Maybe they just took the eggs. They just took the eggs. So Floyd immediately is like, it's a spaceship. And Mel is like, it's not a fucking spaceship. And he's like, it is. Look at it. It has wings like a spaceship. It's red like a spaceship. What? I was like, no. And they hear the llama coming. Okay. So Floyd and Mel run away. But Dan stays behind and he goes to check out the horse trailer. And inside, he's like, I found something. And they're like, what is it? And he says, it's a goddamn space stick.
What?
It is a baseball bat wrapped in tin foil with little paper buttons just taped to it.
Paper like beep, beep,
like
beep,
pieces
button?
Of paper that they cut out into squares and just like taped all the way down. Okay? Okay. Goddamn space stick. Okay. So they run over to the llama, who shoots a laser at them, and Dan fucking deflects it with the space stick. Okay?
Why would a llama? I mean, I guess if they're trying to deflect other
Why
llamas.
would the scientists leave that behind?
There? Yeah.
Is another question I have.
But why would the llamas create that?
I don't know.
Unless they're trying to use it to deflect other, like, laser blasts. But why would you make a stick?
With what hands?
Yeah,
though?
with what hands?
With what opposable thumbs, though?
Okay. Anyway,
okay. Stop asking questions,
Yes.
man. Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here for the ride.
Okay. And now we see that Dan is wearing a full-on, like, Captain Star Trek space shirt. Okay. And he goes into this speech about how our friends can't have died in vain, and we need the space stick to avenge them, and, like, we will win this wrestle between this wrestle between Earth and space. And then he gets shot with a laser and he dies.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So Mel and Floyd run off, obviously.
Yeah.
We get a quick shot of their dad, who is also drinking a beer as he drives over. And he is listening to, like, a talk radio show about aliens. And he's like, aliens, I don't believe in aliens. We can't even get a car to go 30 miles per gallon. How are we going to get a man on the moon? And I was like, what fucking timeline is this in? Because everyone sure as hell did not have 70s gear on.
Yeah.
Unless that's why so many people were high.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But, like, they also had cell phones.
They sure did.
So,
I don't know what's going on. So Mel and Floyd run into a barn, and they're, like, trying to figure out what to do, where to go, where to hide, right? Mm-hmm. And Floyd is like, Grandpa showed me this secret room, and he, like, opens this little secret door in the barn that leads to another part of the barn.
Okay.
And he says, Grandpa used this to hide from the draft, which made me giggle a little bit. So they climb up into this hayloft, and Dan goes to check to see if the llama is still around, right? Mm-hmm. And the llama is, like, down below him in the barn. And it shoots a laser beam up and it goes through the floor. And then we see the dad from outside who was like, damn kids and their laser beams. Like, okay, sure.
Sir.
So he grabs his shotgun from the car and he goes in to investigate. And as he's looking around, he sees this green ooze just, like, running down one of the, like, beams of the barn.
So now we just have fucking ectoplasm going on?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes to touch it and he's, like, you know, running it through his fingers, and then he licks it.
No.
Why the fuck?
Why? Why would you ever do that? You don't know what that is. No. Why would you lick it?
I wouldn't.
I would immediately be like, what kind of mold is this? I'm not going to touch it.
I would not touch it. No.
Nope.
Never. So, yes, we see a clip of someone's arms growing hair, and we hear them yelling. Okay. And then we find out it's Trent.
Oh, okay.
And so he...
Still growing hair?
I guess. I don't know why it showed it again, but maybe he was just like... So he has his llama ears and his little, like, llama legs. It looks like, you know, when people wear, like, centaur pants? It's just, like, furry pants that they put on. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So he is, like, yelling and bleeding and not having it, like, bleating and not having a good time, right? The dad comes across him, and we see that he is laying eggs.
What?
So something weird did happen, and he is just laying all of these furry eggs. And
Did they all just lay eggs?
I don't know.
Did they all just reproduce? Like,
I was so done at this point, I don't even know.
Okay, yeah, we're going. Yeah. No questions.
So, yes. So he's laying eggs, and when the dad comes in, we can see that there are just, like, 10 eggs just chilling on the ground, right? And
that's a lot of those, like, that size eggs. Where are they coming out of?
Between his legs. Between his llama legs.
So either, I just can't think of his dick doing that better.
I don't know. It was just like, you know, an opening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
in his pants. Yeah.
Okay.
His llama pants.
Got it.
So the dad walks up and he's like, just kill me. And so the dad shoots him.
I would.
Yeah.
Please.
And the dad looks down at the eggs, and one of them starts moving around, right? Okay. And he cocks his gun. And from one of the eggs, a little llama, like, pokes his little head out. And he's got his little nose and his little glowing eyes. And it was kind of real cute. It was just like a little stuffed animal, like, right? And the dad shoots it and the other eggs.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
We see Mel and Floyd, who are running around the outside of the barn trying to find a new place to go. Mm-hmm. And then we see the dad, who comes across the llama, and he goes to shoot, but the llama fires a laser at him and misses. So they kind of have, like, a shooting match back and forth for a second, and then the llama shoots the gun out of his hand. Okay? The llama and the dad then have a boxing match where they're just like... Okay?
Okay.
And the dad ultimately...
Good dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets knocked to the ground, and he gets, like, beaten around a little bit, stomped up. And he manages to get back up and try to attack the llama. But the llama bites a chunk out of his neck, and he falls to the ground.
Poor dad.
Yes.
Oh.
So Mel and Floyd are running around, and they hide. And Mel is like, I have to tell you something. Your whole life, I have just thought of you as like this little boy. But now you're turning into a man. I can see your confidence. You're a little man, but you're a man. You're like a little man brother, but little brother man. And she like does that for like a good second. And then he says, I'm proud to call you my little man brother.
Aww.
And yeah, that was kind of cute. And then he was like, I always thought you were a bong-headed twizzle. Turns out you're a bong-headed twizzle. It's like, I don't know what that is, but okay.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Right. They hear a noise, and they run from the llama. And they run right next to the farm equipment. Okay. And we see someone hit the gear shift for the tractor thingy.
Okay.
I think it was combiner. And we see that the dad is driving the tractor.
Dad!
Hell yeah, dad, right? So he starts running over the llama, and the llama gets like meshed up into this thing, and like green ooze starts going everywhere. Okay.
So what, did that mean that, like, if it's green ooze, was that the llama bleeding on the wall?
I'm wondering if it was from Trent.
Maybe?
Bleeding because babies.
Maybe?
I don't know.
No questions?
No questions.
Okay.
So the
Dad. Fucking get him, Dad.
The dad goes over to the kids, and he's like holding his throat, right? And he collapses to the ground. And they're like, how did you know how to kill that thing? And he goes, like most living things, you can just run it through a combiner. That'll do it.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not wrong.
Yeah. And he says, Mel, I want you to know you were always my favorite. And Floyd goes, that's okay. Mom was always my favorite. And Dad is like, tell your mother, you guys, tell your mother that she was a no good, dirty, rotten, and then he dies.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Right? And it just made me think of no good, dirty, rotten pig stealer.
Yeah.
It's a Holes reference for those who don't know. So the kids sit there with their dead dad, and they're sad, obviously, right? But then they look up at the sky, and there's like a wailing sound, and they just kind of stare up at the sky for a good minute. And then that's it. The end.
That's it?
Yeah.
There's not even like more like flaming balls coming towards the earth of like other...
Nope. And then that's it. The end.
Was it like supposed to be like a sequel maybe?
No idea. I don't know.
Did it make more?
Nope.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So the end credits play.
Okay.
And the song that plays over the end credits is a homemade rap about the movie. And it's pretty fucking great. I'm not gonna lie. And then there's like clips of basically the whole movie. It's just like flashing on the screen, right? And it's just, I think all of the credits were like fake names too, which was interesting. But yeah, at the end of the credits, I noted that it said no llamas were hurt during the film of this production, just the dignities of all involved. And that was pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then at the very end of the movie, at the very end of the credits, we get a bonus scene.
Oh.
Post-credit scene.
Oh, okay.
Of this guy. Just some rando guy.
Okay.
Maybe, actually, now that I think of it, he might have been one of the scientists.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure. He wasn't wearing a lab coat anymore.
Okay.
So who's to say?
Yeah, it was the same.
Right? But he cracks open a llama egg.
Okay.
And is frying up this green goo and eats it like scrambled eggs. Then the end.
Ah! I hate that.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Green eggs and ham.
You don't like the Sam again?
No.
Ah.
And that's the end of the movie. So
I'm so sorry that you had to watch this.
It was hard. I think it took me like 4 hours to watch and take my notes.
Gosh.
It was bad.
That's so bad.
It was terrible. So I think I would give this movie like a 3.5.
Okay.
I think, again, if it was someone else with that kind of sense of humor, they might like it a little bit better.
Uh-huh.
But that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
If it had less of like the things that make me secondhand awkward and embarrassed and cringy, I would like it better. But there was just so much of like the close-up faces and the close-up mouth and the weird noises.
That's why I can't stand the scary movies and stuff like that. Like I can't like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, mine and Zach's first date was to go see a movie called Dance Flick.
Oh.
And
making fun of like Step Up and stuff.
And all those, and it was the worst thing.
Yeah, I hate those. I can't do them.
Yeah.
And like things that are like too far crude, like basically anything like Jonah Hill is in. Like I can't do those movies.
Yep.
I just get too awkward.
I liked him in 21 Jump
and
Street.
But yes, that was good. But I'm trying to think of what there's one that. The one with like McLovin in it.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Was he was also in Sausage Party, I think, too.
Probably.
We watched that one.
You watched it?
We watched that one with our neighbors.
Oh,
it was one of the first times we were hanging out with Cass and Allie, yeah. And and we were sitting there watching the movie with them, and this was like we didn't know them very well, and they had a couple of other friends over too, and we were all sitting and watching the movie. And the best part though was everyone was awkwarded out, and we were all like, I was like, okay, good, we could be friends, because if you guys thought this was hilarious, I don't know if we could hang out, because like it was funny. There was a couple of funny moments, but like
it's too far.
It's too much. It was. I can't. People who think that is just the funniest fucking thing, I don't understand. Yeah.
So if that's your jam, go for it. Yeah. I think that's cool. It's just not mine.
It's not mine. We won't be watching the movie together. Yeah.
Go for it. But yeah, there was just so much, like the scene where the first girlfriend was getting like kicked around by the llama. Tony was laughing like pretty hard. He was like, "That's funny shit," and I was like, "No, I can't." Oh.
There's some things that Zach thinks is hilarious, and I'm just like, I don't get that. And so,
it was just too much for me.
He also he doesn't think my dark humor is that funny. So like,
that's a mistake.
Yeah, I know. There's that sound that goes around on TikTok that it's like, it's me, I'm in here, Jessica, like that.
Yeah.
He had one where they like camera over and it's a tombstone that says Jessica. I was laughing so hard, and he was like, I don't like this sound. I don't like the noise.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, I didn't give it any other scores because they were trying to be bad. So like the blood looked like raspberry syrup. You know what I mean? Like
so bad.
The drawings were whatever. They were fine, but like none of it was good on purpose. The fur and everything. It was just bad. Okay. So I can't give it any kind of score.
Okay.
Except for my 3.5.
Yeah.
So I guess I agree with the overall score then.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the movie this week.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We are sorry for you guys. Yeah. But at least I watched it, so you didn't have to. Yes. You're welcome.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you.
So
love you guys.
Love you.
See you next week. Have a great time.
Have a great time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment or sending us an email at bmoviebashpodcast@gmail.com.
You can listen to our episodes on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Apple, Amazon Music, and Audible, or you can find the video versions on our YouTube channel.
If you want to support the podcast, you can find our Ko-fi link on our Anchor page. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends.